Dancing on deck as the moonlight gleams. Waves need time to a wildest dream. New ports call and her heart's at sea. Every sunrise feels like meant to be. From Coco Cay to Caribbean blue, every shore's got a story too. Laughter and music wherever she moves. If you seek MK, she's finding her grooves. No deadlines, no phone, no shoes, just ocean skies and sunset views. The rhythm of life, the salt in the air. Freedom is calling, she's already there. Living her best life, what's her next move? If you seek MK, find her on a cruise. Yeah. If you seek MK, find her on a cruise. Find her, find her, ooh, find her on a cruise. If you seek MK, yeah, she's on the move. Find her, find her, find her, find her. Freedom is calling, she's already there.
Well, hello. Nice to see the few of you that have joined me here today. Kevin has joined us. He's just hanging out on, I know that's a dining table, but it's a laundry table for me. I don't ever use it. And Marshmallow's joining us today. Malibu's around here somewhere. He was in the last live when I was on with Vicky. He was eating marshmallow, so because that's his favorite pastime is to try and eat her. I don't know why. But it was a really exciting weekend, y'all. I was in New York City. I posted a video over on my Amy Loses It channel about how hot it was because it was a freaking just hot. Oh, I have this thing called I can put comments up on screen. Hello, good to see you. Foodie's Vacation. Hey, Vicky. Oh, why did I put that up there? I have no idea. Well, hello, nice to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying. I believe you're the one person, or not just the one person, but a person that has purchased the YouTube After 40 course. So I hope that you are getting a lot out of it. It is a lot of fun. Well, hello, Foodie's other channel, Foodie's Travel Casino Life. So if you haven't checked out her channel for casino, yeah, make sure you check it out. And hey, Anissa, nice to see you. I can't get ready that fast. Hey, Grace, nice to see you. Listening while walking. Yeah, I need to do walking. I have 700 steps in for today. That's it. That's all I've moved. Hey, Theron, nice to see you. Oh, hey, Chris. Hey. So today's going to be a little bit of chit chat about cruising, but it's kind of going to be more travel in general, kind of more of like, oh, well, solo travel. And this is kind of the first time that I've ever really had an incident where I more than feared for my life. I mean, to be fair, I'm actually kind of really still traumatized with what happened this weekend. It was really tough. I don't think any of us expected what happened. And I'll go into all of that in just a second. Well, hey, Jennifer, nice to see you. Oh, I still got to put out my Santorini video because I think I just watched yours, and I'm still unclear on. I saw you take a boat to a dock and then like immediately get on a bus, but none of the things that I did when I was in Santorini, you could get on a boat and then get to an area where you immediately got on a bus. It was either walk up a gigantic hill in Oya to get a shuttle bus that took you to the top, or it was take the the gondola up, and then it was like a half-mile walk to the buses. So I'm really curious. Maybe you got dropped off in the commercial port and the buses were able to pull up right at the port, but I did not have that option on mine, and it's a shame because that would have been so much better. Yes, Anissa, just wait till you hear my story. Well, hey, Glenda and Lon, nice to see you. So you are back from your cruise. I'm excited that I did my see you soon offer already. So I have my cruise booked for the end of October. I'm excited on the Majestic Princess, which is a very similar ship to the Enchanted Princess that the three of us were on with a bunch of other people, and now Kevin is eating marshmallow. Um, but it has a few differences because it was actually made for the Asian market and they moved it over to the US for a lot of the time, but it has an indoor pool, which is going to be great because I'm going to be in a colder area. Well, hey, Kim, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by for Amy's cruise travel chat, or Amy's like, oh my God, what just happened? And thank God I'm still alive. Yep, Grace is here. Okay, so I went this weekend to New York City because I was going to a concert at Radio City Music Hall Friday night. And then I had concert tickets also to Madison Square Gardens on Saturday night. And if you have not been living under a rock, then you know the NBA Finals were Saturday night for the New York Knicks, and their home place is Madison Square Gardens, but they weren't playing there. They were playing in San Antonio, Texas. And this was game 5, and it would be, if they won, they would win the championship, and it would be the first time in like 50 something years that they won. And so I was a little hesitant to go to the concert on Saturday night uh, because I had like about a 6/10 of a mile walk back to the hotel, and it was going to be about 11 o'clock at night. But I wasn't worried about like my safety as far as like someone mugging me or robbing me or like, unaliving me. I was more concerned about, oh, well, what if there are partiers? And then I got an email from Madison Square Gardens that said they were going to be setting up safe zones around Madison Square Gardens, but we needed to exit those safe zones as soon as possible. And so I kind of took that to be, oh, well, maybe they're creating safe zones for the people leaving the concert, and we can safely get back to where we need to be, whether it's to transit or to our hotel, and we'd be protected from the crowd that would be gathering to celebrate the win. Well, boy, was I a fool. Because I had an absolute fabulous time in New York up until then. Like everything went great for my concert Friday night. And then I met friends during the day on Saturday, and we had dinner together. And then I took the subway back down to Madison Square Gardens, and that's when the first thing started going awry. Was they weren't letting us in the main entrance, which when I got off the subway, I was at the main entrance. They made me walk a mile kind of all the way back to my hotel and then down and around the corner, and then made us wait in a line and then let us in. But there were police everywhere. I mean, just everywhere. Like every street corner, there were barriers and this and that and everything. But at this point, like nothing was blocked off. There were just guardrails like hanging out. But like when I mean police everywhere, like there were almost more police than just people. So I went and saw the concert, didn't think anything of it. They showed that it was kind of going back and forth. The Knicks were losing, then they were close, and then they were winning, and the game hadn't ended by the time I got out of the gardens. But then when I got out of the gardens, we soon quickly realized, all of us, because the place was full, right? There was like 18,000 other people who made this horrible decision to actually attend this concert. The police were like, no, you can't go through this safe and uncrowded area to get back to where you need to be. You need to go elsewhere. Like, just be somewhere else other than here. And I'm like, what? Like, dude, like my hotel is at 6th and 36th, and you're telling me I need to go to 9th, which is the complete opposite direction, or I need to go all the way down to 25th, which is the complete opposite direction, like a mile in the complete opposite direction, like right into all the people celebrating. Because at this point, by the time I got done arguing with the police, yes, I argued with the police because I'm like, I'm a single solo traveler, 5 foot nothing, and you're gonna make me go into all these people who are celebrating and into this crowd, and like all of these people and to be fair, like the mass majority of them were young men in their early 20s who don't necessarily watch what they're doing when they're overexcited. Um, uh, hey, Bill, nice to see you. And so, it, I don't know. So it just kind of became like this really, really bad situation where, and I don't fault at all the officers that were on the ground, right? They were doing the job that they were told to do, and that was secure a perimeter and keep everybody out. But they didn't take into any account the people who were in the concert and needed to get back safely and didn't want to be in the celebration. So that kind of left us all to our own devices. And I'll show you a map. So for those of you who aren't familiar with New York City, this is a map of how I would normally, hold on, let me take the comments off the screen. So I was let out here at the very back. I know you can't see it, but you see where the star is with Madison Square Gardens and that blue dot. That's where they let me out of. And so that is 8th Avenue. And it was about at what, 33rd, 30, about 32nd. And if you look over to the right, that like red dot is where my hotel was. And so that's like 6/10 of a mile, mostly flat, takes like 13 minutes walking at 3 miles per hour. So it takes me about 20 minutes to walk it. No big deal. But they said, no, you can't go up. So I couldn't go up to 33, 34, 35, 36. Like I couldn't go up. They said I could only go down. So I'm like, okay, well, if I go down, then if I go over, can I go up 6? They said, no, you can't go up 6. And I'm so like, what am I supposed to do? It's midnight and I'm wandering around New York City and then there's all these people. So I kind of like was a little bit put out and a little bit startled that this happened. And I was kind of like really nervous because I was afraid of what really came next and I couldn't have predicted what came next. So this is kind of the route that I ended up having to take back to my hotel. So over on the left, you can see the red dot where I started. Over on the right, you can see the red dot where my hotel is, just above the Empire State Building. Now this took me 2.5 hours to traverse this. And it was just a nightmare the whole way because every time I walked on another street, there was more crowds. And then it became more crowded and more crowded. But my trouble really started when I took that really long line on 6th, which is kind of that one big straight line with the circle that I put on it. When I started going up 6th, they did not allow us to walk in the street. They forced all of us onto the sidewalks and there were barriers. But then, so at the very bottom, I went all the way down to 27th, where if you see like where it says like Oscar Wilde and Studio 28 down at the bottom. So that red line is 27th. So the next street up was 28th and they had a blockade there. And so I stood there for probably 15, 20 minutes and they're like, oh, well, you need to walk to the east to go to 5th. But I could hear the crowd. They were jumping, they were like jumping on vans. They were screaming, they were yelling. There were like hundreds and hundreds, if thousands of people. And I'm like, I'm not walking into that. Well, they finally opened the barrier and let us go, and we got all the way up to 29th. But then the problem where I circled it was at 29th. They had barriers again. But all of these like thousands of people were now shoving because everybody wanted to get to Times Square. So I ended up like in the circle area on the sidewalk. I ended up getting stuck in a crush of people as literally suffocating crush of like hundreds of people like jammed in it between a building and a guardrail that was on the edge of the sidewalk. I had a full on like absolute panic attack. I mean, to the point like I literally lost my mind because all I could picture was I was gonna be killed by being crushed by all of these people who were taller than me. I'm looking at like, if I'm looking here, that's like the middle of somebody's back, and they were like all around me. And the street was filled with all these police officers in their SWAT gear and everything. And like I said, I don't fault them because they didn't make this plan. But on what planet does shoving thousands of people in this teeny tiny funnel make any freaking sense? And then they cut off not only the people who were partying, but any people who were on the street and just happened to be out at the time. There was a couple with a 5-month-old baby. There were like tons of other people who were just trying to get back to their hotels. And we got all caught in this like absolute freaking craziness. And I just cannot tell you like how terrified I was, because I was getting smushed. And if I had not absolutely freaked out and literally just started punching people and like shoving them out of the way until I was able to get to the edge of a railing, to where I could like at least get some breathing room, I don't know what would have happened to me, because I could just imagine like me getting knocked over. Nobody's gonna see it because you were like there was. It's like putting like 1,000 people in a room that's meant for 100 people. Like it was the most unbelievable thing that I've ever seen. And yeah, but okay, so you kind of knew that might happen before you went. No, I didn't know that would happen. I did not know that the police were not going to protect the concert goers. Now, I knew that people were going to be partying, but I didn't know that they were going to smash everybody onto, or like push everybody onto the sidewalks and then pin us in. So, but it got to the point that it started getting violent. So there was one point where people were jumping over barriers, knocking them down, knocking the police over. Then when I got stuck in that spot at 29th, people were like bum rushing the gates, and I was getting smushed against the gate, like the metal like barrier. But luckily, like there was this godsend of a young man named Kevin who talked me down off a cliff, because I was screaming and almost in tears. I was screaming at the police officer, like, dude, like I have to get out of here. Like you cannot leave me in this mess. Like I was not supposed to be here. Like you all put me in this position. Like I could have easily walked back to my hotel in 20 minutes. Instead, you made me walk an hour and a half and get in all this crap. It was so crazy. So finally, I managed to get to 33rd. So finally they opened the barrier that I was, and there was like this mad rush of people, and I almost got trampled, but I took off running. And then we had a whole nother set of barriers that had gotten knocked down, and somebody helped me jump over them. And then I found like a little spot. There was like this little area where there were some ping pong tables at the corner of 33rd, and there was a bench. And so I sat down for a little bit, because I just couldn't get through to the next street, because it was just, again, it was wall to wall to wall people. So it was insanity. And so you say, oh, well, you knew that might happen. But again, 18,000 other people made the same decision I did to go to that concert. So it wasn't like I made some just egregious decision to do something. Like we all assumed our safety would be taken into account, and it wasn't. So whatever plan that they had, that they put together, failed the concert goers. Now, I mean, it may have kept some other people safe, but I don't understand why they didn't let us use the street and block off the sidewalk to protect the buildings and the cars and the light posts, because people were hanging from the light posts. But then I got to sit down. It was about 1 a.m. at this point. The concert ended at 11, and I'm still a couple blocks from my hotel, and some a-hole or two a-holes decide to break into a building and go up on the second floor above us and spray fire extinguishers. So here we are just sitting there, and we all just like start getting covered, and it's really hard to breathe, and it burns your face and your mouth and your eyes. So I took off running, and so did the whole rest of the crowd. But at that point, I was able to like just muscle my way through and finally get through to like 35th and then on to 36th and get back to my hotel. So it was like about 1:30 in the morning by the time I finally got back. But the noise and the crowd and the, breaking of glass and everything lasted till about 4 a.m. Wow, that's crazy. I totally get why you felt so risk being 5 foot tall, coupled with a baby sounds nuts. I know. Like the guy was like pleading with the police officer. He's like, "Well, why are you out here?" And it's like, dude, because we got caught. The guy's like, "We were just out for a quick walk, and then you put up all these barriers and you blocked us in." So yeah, it was to be honest, it was terrifying. Like I'm not even like really doing it justice with describing it. And I don't really have any good photos or videos because again, I'm so short, I'm not going to get anything but anybody's back. And in the moment, you're like so worried about your life, the last thing you're going to do is pull out a phone. Yeah, I'm glad I'm okay, but it was absolutely terrifying. And so like I said, I don't blame the cops that followed the orders they were given. I blame whoever came up with this freaking plan. Why did we not consider the 18,000 people that didn't want to be involved in the hoopla? Because, honestly, I haven't seen anything on the internet that remotely resembles how bad it was in the area that I was in. So it was just so bad. I'm so glad I made it home safely too. I just cannot believe. And that's, I think the most terrifying thing is that we make these decisions to enjoy our life and do these fun things, but they don't come without risks. But sometimes we have to weigh like, oh, like what really is the risk, right? I didn't think that I knew that there was going to be some risk, but I didn't think that things were going to play out the way that they were. And did I just throw away my concert tickets and go hold up in my hotel? Believe me, I really, really thought about it. But I'm like, oh, I'm just being silly. Like, this is really silly. But for me, it was more that somebody else's decision could end my life. And especially like when they started spraying the fire extinguishers, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if that was like some dangerous chemical and like something ridiculous, like I'm severely injured or die because some tool without a half a brain was celebrating a game, somebody winning a basketball game, and they unintentionally like off other people because they're not thinking. They're just thinking about themselves. So it's just really scary. I'm 6 foot, 250 pounds, been in the same situations like that after some college footballs. I punched my way out more than once. It's certainly a scary situation. Absolutely terrifying is, I don't, I'm still not okay, to be fair. I am uh pretty traumatized from it. I was did have not slept well at all. If you saw my video on my Amy Loses It channel where I filmed yesterday morning after I got home. Like I filmed the second section of my video and I look like I'm about to fall right back asleep. Yep. Because I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep that night. Oh yeah, it was so crazy. Yeah, I'm fine. I can't believe it took me 2.5 hours to get back to my hotel. Yeah, and luckily, like I looked up the fire extinguishers and they said like most likely it's just a baking soda and phosphorus and it may irritate your skin, but it's completely safe, just take a shower and wash it off and you'll be okay. But it's like it was all in my hair, covered my purse, like it was all stuck to my glasses and all over my lips and because none of the stores were open, like I hadn't had water in hours and it was so flippin' hot, let me tell you. I thought it was gonna melt. It was crazy. Sounds like a stampede. It was a stampede. That happened to me after Michael Jackson concert. Oh my gosh, so scary. It is so scary. I never want to be in that position again, but like none of me getting in that position was really my choice. I make the choice to kind of follow the crowd to try and make my way to my hotel? Yeah, but what was the other choice? I go the opposite way and get back into an even bigger crowd that's going crazy and had just set a car on fire. Or were pulling flags down from the flag poles, or they were climbing look at this. Let me see if I can find my photo. Let me see if I can see one. Yeah, where they are like literally like climbing the light posts. I mean, and like this is when I was sitting at the park, and so it wasn't as crowded right there because we did have a little bit of room to move about. But like, look at these fools. Like, what are they doing? I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It just terrified me, and just to know that like somebody else's decision can really ruin your life, and it's like, but how do you keep on traveling? You know what I mean? Like, how do you have the courage to continue to do all these things? Because like the chances of something like that happening again, like are probably really slim. But it really kind of does scare me because a lot of people call me brave because I go out and do these things on my own. Um, but like, how else am I supposed to do them? Sorry you went through that. I go through it a lot in New York City. Welcome to you, New York. And I love New York. I love visiting. I always have a great time when I'm there. But it was just like, what? Who? Nobody was thinking. I just don't think they even thought about, oh, well, we really need to get these concert goers to safety and allow them. What would it have hurt if they just had allowed us to walk through the safe zone and maybe like escorted us back to our hotel? I mean, the thing is there were so many cops out on the street, like every cop in the city was working. So it wouldn't have been like we would have had to have a personal escort, but they were at every single street corner. There were multiple of them at every single street corner. So they could have just like done checkpoints or something. I don't understand it. Yeah, the barriers created the danger. That is absolutely what it was. Is is they put up these barriers and then we all got to a point where we couldn't go any further. So then everybody who was going that was in front started coming backwards, but then everybody behind has no idea that you can't go any further. And they were just all smushing uh together. I'm glad you went all in all. Yeah, am I glad I went? Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I did what I did. Do I wish I maybe made different decisions on Saturday night? Do I wish I had skipped the concert? I mean, that's a tough decision because then I wouldn't have known that this was going to happen if I skipped the concert, right? So I would have just lived with the regret of skipping the concert and being like, oh, well, what a wuss. Amy skipped the concert because she was afraid of something that may never happen. Um, Maybe I could have just walked further down the like 25th Street or 24th and gone across to like 4th and try and come back over. But then the problem with that is like, okay, well, then if I'm out in areas where there is no one else, there's more risk for me walking alone by myself out in 12:30 at night. But honestly, to be fair, nobody was paying any attention to me. So like I didn't feel like I was in any danger of being robbed or mugged or stabbed or shot or whatever. I really felt I was in more danger of being trampled because so many of the people were like jumping up and down and hooting and hollering and not paying any a lick of attention to who they were running into or stepping on. I'm 5 minutes behind if my comments don't fit. Oh yeah, no, I'm behind on the comments anyway. So yeah, Jennifer, it was definitely an interesting weekend. But so that's kind of like some of the dangers of like traveling. And I don't know, would it have been different if I had been with somebody who was taller and could have like really like pushed people back from behind me? Would I have like had as much issue? I don't know. I really don't know. And so I can't really say, oh, well, I'm gonna blame it on solo travel. But like, yeah, I just really don't know like what the solution in this situation would be. Like, uh, you know what I mean? I think just better overall, like making accommodation for the volume of people. And I think that more property got damaged uh, because they had us up against the buildings. I think if they had put us in the street, like there weren't cars on the street. They had no parking out, so there were no one on the street corner and or out on the street corner. So there was no parking out on the street. So the streets were completely wide open. If they had put us on the street instead of like making us go in like a 6 foot, 10 foot wide sidewalk instead of like a 40-foot street, I think that would have been a much better solution. Uh, I just don't know. I mean, I know that someone ended up getting shot up at 42nd up in Times Square, and like a lot of the people that were in the crowd that I was in were actually trying to get back to Madison Square Gardens or were trying to get to Times Square. But they had a huge perimeter around Madison Square Gardens and they weren't allowing anybody near there. So that's why like I saw like the news report of like the people celebrating near Madison Square Gardens, but no, they vacated that area. They didn't allow anybody near there at all. So when I left the concert, there was nobody on 7th Street celebrating behind the gardens. So I really don't know what the heck happened. It sounds like they didn't really account for the concert goers. No, not at all. Um, yeah, and I wish like more people would speak up because so many people got caught in that. Actually, I sat with a young couple and then two younger ladies when I was sitting on 33rd in the park. And they all came from the concert too. And they're like, we're just trying to get back to our hotel and we got caught in this. And like, we don't know what to do. And so, of course, they got covered by fire extinguisher as well. But I mean, I guess that was kind of a good thing because when that happened, then they dropped the barriers and let us run free to get away from that. Do you ever learn why you couldn't go in the direction of your intended? Because they set up a safe zone. That was it. Was they were just trying to prevent people from moving. They were trying to prevent people from going to Times Square. They were trying to prevent people from going to Madison Square Gardens. And so my hotel just happened to, the road I needed to go just happened to be close enough that they marked it off as a safe zone and they didn't want people in it, which is weird. I don't understand. I really don't understand what they were doing at all. So I don't know if they were trying to make people stay in home. Look, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to what anybody was thinking at all. I truly don't. Um, I, it is all a mystery to me. Hold on one second. I just want to open up the stream in YouTube, just make sure that I'm not pausing here. I can't see, like if I like lag or pause, I cannot see it. One would think by now they could prepare for the influx of people. Well, considering that they practically had every single police officer working because there were thousands of them everywhere, you would think that they could. Yeah, so I don't know. It was crazy. But so, like, have any of you, other than the couple that have spoken up already, have any of you guys like ever experienced like that? Have you had like a trip that you took that you really regretted and you wish you hadn't done, or somebody else's actions like really ruined your experience or like, you know, put you in harm's way? Because this is really the first time that I've had that happen. Now, I have had an incident where I was in Barbados and my tool of an ex-husband uh, left our passports and my camera equipment in a vehicle while the guy got us out and like it was like taking our photo, but I almost thought the guy was gonna leave us and like take our stuff. Like it would just seem so sketchy. He kept saying like back up, back up, back up. And I'm like asking my ex, like, well, do you have our passports? Oh no, I left them on the floor in the van. And we were the only two people on that tour because we just kind of like picked it up on the street corner because my ex-husband had no concept of stranger danger for the most part, or just concept of common sense. Yeah, never experienced anything like that. I'd say, yeah. And the funny thing is, right? Like I just did this big cruise and I went to Europe as a solo traveler. Now I did meet people on a group on the cruise, and we did meet up sometimes when we were on land, but not always a given. And so I just did a flight to Rome and traveled through the city of Rome and got a train to Civitavecchia by myself and boarded the ship and did Kusadasi, Turkey, and did Naples, Italy, and did Santorini, Greece, and then came back and did that all on my own and never remotely like had anything like this happen or any kind of thing that made me uncomfortable about traveling alone. So it's just like, oh, well, in the US, so it's the US I have to worry about. So it's a little bit crazy to think that like you could be put in this situation just because of somebody else's decisions. It's crazy. So, let's see what else is up. So I do have video that I want to do for Santorini cruise port because I'm not a huge fan of some of the things that I did there. Oh, excuse me. And maybe if I had docked at a better port or better spot where I could get right on a tour bus instead of all the rigmarole I had to go through to get a tour bus. What else did I have? Hold on. Um, oh, and I definitely want to do a video about like the 10 reasons why solo cruising is the best. So I have cruised with other people. I've cruised with my spouse. I've cruised with family, cruised with friends. But honestly, I love a good solo cruise. So I definitely want to do a video about the reasons why I love solo cruising so much. And I'm getting ready to go on one in October, but I will know somebody on board. And it was just Kawink. No, it was not a coinkadink. It was a complete coincidence that we ended up booking the same cruise. But we'll probably gamble in the casino together, maybe hang out and have dinner every once in a while. But she does her own thing. And so, it's still going to be Amy doing a solo cruise. Not a crowd, but my first night in London, a homeless guy grabbed me and pushed me against a wall. Luckily, guys were there to pull the guy off me. Oh, that's scary. Because I've done London by myself and I've walked around London at night, but to be fair, when I was there in the winter, night is like 4:30 in the afternoon. But yeah, that's crazy. That would scare me, definitely. I heard that Santorini is changing the amount of people that can get off the boat at one time. Now, we were actually the only ship in port, so we like won the lottery, had the golden ticket. So we had an amazing day as far as crowds, but that still didn't make everything easier because it doesn't change the terrain. It doesn't change where the buses pick up. It just made it easier in the fact that there weren't as many people. And I can't imagine having more than one cruise ship because by the time I looked at the cable car going up or the gondola going up, like the line was at least an hour and a half to get up. But I took a boat around to the other side of the island, so I didn't have to wait in that on the way up. I just did it on the way down. Yeah, Chris, solo cruising is the best. I love it. And I actually like solo cruising with acquaintances more than I like solo cruising with friends. I don't want anybody in my cabin. I don't want the responsibility of having a friend. I don't want the responsibility of a family member, but I think the Unhinged is going to be an absolute freaking blast. The Unhinged cruise that I'm going on in 2027 with Foodie's Vacation and her group for the Foodie Squad, because there's gonna be a lot of people I know, and but I don't have to hang out with them if I don't want to hang out with them. Will you be able to go on the downsize cruise in 2027? I don't know. Have they announced it yet? I have not looked. It really would depend on when it is, because I have my I have my eye on the YouTube After 40 cruise in May. I don't know 100% that I can make the dates work or the cost work, but I'll have to see. That made me laugh. Yeah, night in winter in London is so early. Well, yeah, because I live in like the DC area, like it's really, really early here in the winter too. It's about the same time. So it's like 4:30, 4 o'clock. It's dark outside. Um, oh, so Jennifer, the downsized cruise is a cruise for weight loss. It is people, well, you don't have to be taking a GLP-1 medication, but it is from the Downsized, which is a channel, a YouTube channel that focuses on use of GLP-1 medications for weight loss. So it's Christopher and Lorraine Durham, and they have both lost a total of 150 pounds. And so they run a group and they do a group cruise each year. So I don't know when it's going to be. I really wish I could go on the Unhinged cruise. It may end up being a last minute. Oh, heck, why not? Yeah, I mean, I know you said you're going to be in Vegas the week before for work, but yeah, I think the Unhinged is going to be a blast. The problem I'm having with the Unhinged is the airfare. So obviously, there's a bunch of other things going on in the Miami area, and when I started looking at airfare, it was like $800 from the DC area, and I'm like, you've lost your blankety blank mind. I'm not paying that. So I ended up managing to get a rather, I didn't say inexpensive, but a much cheaper flight. I got a United flight for about $175, booking it through the JetBlue website, so I get my JetBlue points, but it's going the morning of the cruise. I couldn't get anything going the day before that wasn't under $500 one way. And I think it ended up costing me like triple the amount of frequent flyer miles to come back the day of the cruise that we get back in on that Sunday. And but I have to go out of West Palm Beach, which is crazy. But that's okay. I've done that before. I just take a taxi over to the Brightline station and then just take the Brightline train. Always cheaper to go into Fort Lauderdale. Oh yeah, no, I'm not flying to Miami. I'm flying in United. I'm flying United from DCA to Fort Lauderdale. And last time I actually flew into Fort Lauderdale, I had time to take public transit to the cruise. So I think my flight landed at like 9:30 in the morning, and it took me about an hour and a half to you take the bus, the free bus to like the Metro Link and then or the Metro Rail and then to the Metro Link, and you get off at like the Brightline station, Brickell. I think I got off at Brickell, and then there's a trolley there, but it was too hot to be doing the trolley the day that I was there, so I ended up just taking an Uber over to the cruise port, which it's like a mile, wasn't very far. I know it's a horrible idea, but I've flown in the morning of for more than half of my cruises. Yeah, I have the past couple of mine too. Um, just because like you got to do what you got to do, and also it saves, like the hotels are $300 or $400 a night. So if you're looking at like a $700 cruise to fly in the day before and a $300 or $400 flight, and my cruise is costing me $300, no, 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 this girl's too cheap for that. The Unhinged group is a group cruise through Foodie's Vacation. So if you watch Foodie's Vacation, that's her channel. So Foodies with an S and Vacations with an S. It's a cruising and casino channel. And there is a group cruise with about 100 other people in the group that are going on a cruise in February of 2027. I'm doing it in November for the Icon. I always buy my airfare through the cruise line for at least a little bit of protection. I have done that too when I did, whatchamacallit, when I did Norwegian I did the Norwegian Prima out of Southampton, and I got such an excellent deal on the airfare because they did it was like buy one, get one free airfare, but I was traveling alone, so they gave me 50% off, and I think I got my airfare for $600 to London, one way to London, and then back from Reykjavik. So for $600, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, most of the time the hotel is more expensive than the flight. It is crazy. I stayed last time I stayed at like, was it the Hampton Inn Brickell? Because I had points on my Hilton account and it took every bit of my points for the Hilton. I have zero points in my Hilton account now. So it used, I don't know, it was like 50,000 points or something absurdly ridiculous. Yeah. And so, oh, and my hotel in New York was a bit, I don't know. It was an IGH or IHG property. It was a Holiday Inn Express and a little sketchy. They were doing some repairs, but to be fair, the repairs that they were doing looked like they were being done by a toddler. It was ridiculous. Now, I do have to say that the bathroom, like the room was very clean. The linens were clean. Everything in the room was pretty much in decent repair. Like the bathroom door looked like it was pretty beat up at the bottom. And there was, just random things that like could have been done by a professional instead of a toddler. Like the caulking job looked like, oh, it was so obvious that the person that did the caulking had no idea how to caulk anything, which is ridiculous because even I can caulk something. And that's just because I hate mold on caulk. I know this is like random tangent, Amy Squirrel Brain, but like I lived in Florida for a long time and I hate mold and caulking. And so I was always that person that would like take up the caulk and replace it every couple of years and redo the caulking around my tubs and showers and stuff, because most of the time you just couldn't get the mold out of it. So yeah, so it's not that hard. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Oh, goodness. Okay, well, I am going to let all of you go. So I really appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with me here on this live stream. So be on the lookout for my videos coming up on Santorini and 10 reasons why I love solo cruising. And Chris says, sadly, right now, Fort Lauderdale is more like 2 hours away. Traffic and construction is insane in Miami right now. Well, have you attempted to take the Metro link? It is not the easiest. Well, it is pretty easy, but you just got to figure out, go to the information desk in Fort Lauderdale Airport, and they will give you a little flyer and show you like, okay, go to this bus stop and get on this free bus, and then it'll take you to the station. But then it's a challenge to get your ticket, and it only comes like once an hour. So like you could be like, if you just miss it, you could be waiting there an hour, which is what happened with me. But I don't know. I thought that it was the Metro rail, and then you get off and take the Metro link. So I mean, it took an hour. So I mean, it's less than two. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me. I use Hyatt Point stay in Hyatt's hotels in Miami. My Chase Sapphire also transfers Hyatt. Yeah, I like Hyatt. Hilton is my preferred, but Hilton doesn't really do a good program, and I'm trying to prepare myself. I've been doing the Grounded Life retirement travel, trying to do their points thing and get myself angled for being able to live overseas for months at a time on points. And so I'm really trying to do that and go with the ones that's going to give me the best value. Looking forward to your Santorini video. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, I have opinions about Santorini, and it's definitely going to be different than most people. I've looked into that. I'll fly into Miami and then just take the Royal Shuttle to port. Yeah, and oh, you know what? They have a Royal Shuttle at Fort Lauderdale. They just don't advertise it, and it was cheap. Candace, who's usually on here, bearing it all with Candace, I think she took it, and it was like $27 or something. So yeah, so don't forget, they have a shuttle from the port at Fort Lauderdale. They just don't advertise it. Well, thank you, Kim. Have a good evening. Have a great evening. Thank you. Yeah, what a crazy situation. Yeah, I got through it. Now I just need to get my nerves to calm down because I do have another trip coming up in July. I'm going to the Your Weight Matters conference. It's an obesity conference for my Amy Loses It channel, and hopefully going to meet up with some viewers there. But I shouldn't be nervous about it at all, right? Like I'm from Florida and you know, I know the lay of the land. I'm visiting relatives, whole 9 yards, but it kind of spooks you a little bit when you have an incident like this. And you have to worry about your safety. So, well, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget that the live stream comments will be available about 24 hours after this post. So just make sure that if you're looking for anybody's comment that you come back after, then no, it's good here. Yeah. Oh, and before we end, like I've got about a 20-second outro. If you want to share your YouTube channel, hashtag cruise, and just only put that in the comments. So hashtag cruise if anybody wants to share their YouTube channel, because I see 3 or 4 of you on here who have YouTube channels. So make sure you share that. Do you hide your real phone and carry a fake phone? Uh, I ended up leaving one of my 2 phones in the hotel. So I normally film on an iPhone. I left one in the hotel and I took the other with me. I took my camera with me because I don't have like any of my like banking or like anything on that phone or like any of like my real stuff that I need. So I did only take one of my 2 phones. Yeah, so there you go. So Vicky's showing it how it's done. So hashtag cruise. So this is Vicky's Foodies Vacation. So if you ever want to learn about the group cruises that we all go on, you need to check out her channel. She live streams 5 days a week. Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. So make sure you check out her channel. She'll be on tomorrow at 10 a.m. And it's always a lot of fun. Most of the time I am on there chatting away. So have a great night. And I'll see you again next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So have a great night.
Move if you see, find her on a